Now, the handout is we have today. You can always get the handout off of the Royal Wise Owls class page, or all the students probably already have it. But I am going to follow it kind of in order, but I'm going to jump around here and there a little bit. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start off with the coolest feature, and it's not the first one on the list, but it helps us understand something else we're about to see, so I just kind of want to cover it first. And this is that Apple in the iPhone has built in this very cool cut out an image from an image feature. If you've ever used old Photoshop, it's like the magic wand where you can just click on something and all of a sudden you can lift it out of the background. And Apple has built that into this operating system, and you can do it in a series of applications. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my photos real quick. Now that I'm in photos, I'm just going to touch and hold and release on this image, and you'll see that it gets that little shiny thing, letting me know that it's ready to be cut out. Touch and hold again, and I get my pop-up menu so I can copy that image. Now, I'm going to switch over to my Messages app, touch, hold, and release to get up that pop-up menu and paste it in. Send it on its way. So we just cut that image right out of the background. So let's go back and look at that one more time, because this is a live photo, and I just want you to be aware that if you touch and hold too long, you'll get the live photo effect. So this photo has movement from the live photo. So there's a very subtle difference between the touch, hold, and release, or the touch, hold, and let the live photo go. But we're looking for that little flash to happen. What I can do though is touch, hold, and then start moving it around, and then I can see that it comes up off the background. I've got a hold of it. Once I do, now I can just use my phone normally and switch between apps to find where I want to put this later. So here I am in a new email message, and I've dropped it into the body of that email message. But I did have to use two hands because I was holding the image with one finger and navigating the phone with the other finger. So here I am again, grabbing that photo, moving it so I know that I have control of it. And this time I just swiped on the bottom of the screen to move to the last app that I used, and swiped back and forth on the bottom of the screen to move back to Mail. And so we've seen three different options here. One is touch and hold and try to get that copy pop-up to happen so we can copy and paste. We can touch and hold and then kind of move it around to make sure that it comes up off the background. And then we can swipe up and just go to whatever app we want and put it in place. Or my third option was touch and hold and move it around once I know I have it. I'm using the bottom or black bar at the bottom of my screen to swipe right or left to move between all of the open apps that I have. But once I get to the app I want, whether it's Mail, text messaging, and or Pages, I can drop the image right there and use it however I want to. Now, I'm going to go ahead and swipe up to get into my phone, and I'm going to go into the Settings application. So I want to look at some focus stuff that's going on, and that is new in iOS 16. As I'm looking through here, I just added that lock screen to my work focus. So let me go into the work focus and show you a couple of very cool things in here. Allow notifications. So I can now limit who can contact me when I'm at work. Maybe I don't want certain friends to, maybe I just want my work colleagues to be able to get to me. So I can come in here and add people to a list of people that are allowed to contact me, and I will get notified of that contact. Right? Phone calls. Allow calls from everybody or only from, and notice this is a list of groups that I've created in my contacts. So this is also linking out to, you go to your contacts app, make a new group, add all your family members to it, add all of your work colleagues to it, and then we can come here and say, if even contacts only, if they're not in my contacts app, don't let the phone call come through, but if I know them, let them come through. Right? So that's kind of an interesting one for phone calls. Also, there's a feature that's called repeated calls. A second call from the same person within 3 minutes will not be silenced. Right? So if somebody calls you, it silences that notification. They call you a second time within 3 minutes, that will notify you. You can turn that feature off, but know that if somebody else, and by the way, you'll normally get notified, so-and-so has the notification silenced. If you know you can call back a second time and get through to them, that's something you should know about how all of these fun features work. So again, I can add different people to my work focus, and I can now limit what apps I'm allowed to use. When work focus is on, notifications from apps will be silenced. So maybe I don't want news updates when I'm at work. They're too distracting, but I do want Asana updates or to-do list reminder updates, right? I need Zoom updates. And this time-sensitive notifications thing is relatively new. Allow apps not in your allowed list to send notifications marked as time-sensitive immediately. Basically what this idea is if I've said remind me to do something at noon, and I have said reminders cannot contact me at work, it'll still get through because it says noon today. Like my phone's like, he needs to know this is happening now, right? And so just be aware that there are now what are called time-sensitive notifications that you can allow certain permissions. Super fun. Here's the customized screen that we chose, and I can edit it from here. And notice below I have a choose option for my home screen, meaning, and this is new, I can make a custom home page or a home screen, and now make one that is specifically for work and a different one that is specifically for home. Maybe I don't want Facebook available to me when I'm at work, or at least not on that main page, right? So I only have work and productivity apps on my home screen that work provides for me, and then I have all of my social media and entertainment stuff on my personal one, and maybe I even make one for sleep, right? Maybe I have a couple apps that help me get to sleep, or that if I wake up in the middle of the night I can do certain things, but maybe when I'm in sleep mode I don't want access to all these other things. I want to limit it to myself. So it's really a new way of controlling your phone to make sure that you are focused on what it is you're supposed to be doing at what time. And this really is trying to combat, even with the kids these days, and the idea that they are just on Instagram 8 hours a day or whatever. Are we just wasting our time doom scrolling and stuff like that? And this has been a feature that has gotten rave reviews for people that need to focus at work, right? They just want to not see the other potential. I don't need YouTube while I'm working. Now, for my job, I do. Lucky me. I'm going to go and hit the done button there. I also want you to notice that there's a choose watch screen. I'm allowed to make multiple watch faces, and I can tell it that when I am at work, I want this watch face, and when I am sleeping, I want this other watch face, and things like that. I can add a schedule to say turn all of this on for this focus at this time and turn it off at this time. And then here's the other one that's brand new, is focus filters. Customize how your apps and devices behave when this focus is on. Focus filters help you remove distractions from apps when the focus is on. So you can say add a filter, and now you can decide what you want to filter for different apps. And systems, look below, customize system settings. Also at the bottom, you can delete this entire focus. So if you don't want a work focus, you can just do away with that focus so that it doesn't show up and get confusing for you. Another important thing about focuses is share across your devices. If I set a focus on this phone, do I want it to also be on my iPad and my MacBook Pro and my Apple Watch? Or do I just want this focus on this one device? Some people are like, why would I want that, and or why would I not want that? My example is that right now I'm on a 27-inch iMac teaching this class. This is a workstation, not my personal computer. And so I don't really want what I do on my iPhone, my iPad, watch, and laptop to come over onto this iMac, right? Because I'm teaching a class and I don't want it to go in and out of Do Not Disturb. I do not want it to limit what I can do. Sort of thing. And so this iMac is an island, and it does not share or sync focuses with all of my other devices logged into my Apple ID. Okay, there we go. So if you want to have one device kind of be an island, you need to know to say that and to tell it that we don't want it to do that. All right. I love this new thing. I think it's really kind of fun and fancy. So I'm going to stop real quick and just look around and say, does anybody have any questions or comments about this whole first section? Again, we've talked about the lock screen, widgets, the lock screen gallery, editing it, stylizing it, switching between them, notifications and how they work now, lock screens connecting. Jackie says, how do you delete a lock screen? You're going to, again, touch and hold to get into the editing area. I believe then what we would do is hit the... Oop, come here, you. Oh, there it is right there. I accidentally did it. I swiped up, and look, there's a trash can. So it's going to be just like when you are in the app switching area of the phone and you swipe apps up to close them, you will swipe these up to trash them. I could swipe up a little bit and push the trash can, or I can swipe up hard and it'll just swipe up off the top of the screen and go away.